So did Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively have an affair on the set of It Ends With Us? Well, according to a woman named Gabrielle Hurst and a source that she has that worked on the set of It Ends With Us, they're revealing what went down.
Also featured in this documentary is Maya Schachter. She is a very experienced intimacy coordinator who did not work on It Ends With Us, but she brings a lot of firsthand knowledge and wisdom. And she said something that really got me thinking and resonated.
We need to talk about the symbolism in the Hollywood Reporter cover that is clearly referencing the Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively lawsuit drama. This is insane. I have no idea.
Saga begin, and with the threat of future litigation, will it end up in court?
Hollywood, the land of glitz, glamour, and hidden secrets. Behind every red carpet smile and perfectly rehearsed award show speech, there's a story waiting to be told. Some are heartwarming, others scandalous. But then there are the ones so shocking, they make you question everything you thought you knew. Today, we're diving into one of those stories.
Messages between them that they each included in their respective lawsuits. This intimacy coordinator says, quote, "From reading their text messages, I do sense that at one point there was genuine affection between them and what felt like a friendship. In my experience, when an actor says, I don't need to meet the intimacy coordinator until we're shooting, as much as it hinders my process, it does typically indicate that they trust their scene partner. And those texts made me think that at one point, she did feel a lot of trust with him. And you know what? I actually agree with her. But we all know that quickly evaporated. Once the trust is broken, it's hard.
An affair. A rumored betrayal. Two of Hollywood's most beloved stars caught in whispers powerful enough to shake Tinseltown to its core. Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. Yes, you heard that right. But how did it begin? Why did it happen? And what could it mean for their families, their careers, and Hollywood itself? Let's pull back the curtain and uncover the truth.
There's a number of different details on Reddit about what was witnessed on the set of It Ends With Us, starting with Justin Baldoni saying that he was in over his head from the very beginning. Apparently, production delays started on day one, which kind of checks out considering we know that Blake's hijacking of the wardrobe set them over budget and also caused delays. But apparently Justin Baldoni was a little too nice, couldn't make any decisive decisions, and gave other people too much power on the set of It Ends With Us, which is probably how Blake Lively came in and hijacked it. And as far as Blake Lively goes, apparently people were afraid of her. And when it came to approaching her trailer, it was like poking the hornet's nest. She allegedly got 2 sets of ADs fired and was actually worse than what her reputation preceded. Because we've heard for years that she's difficult to work with and she's a diva on the set. But apparently they're claiming, yes, that's all true, and then some. Which is why Baldoni would have to step in and kind of be the middleman because everybody else was actually afraid to approach her. But apparently he didn't have a strong enough backbone to really put her in her place, and he tried to appease her, which now makes sense why he kind of is talking to her like a kindergartner in the voice note that was leaked online. And then we had all the allegations about the toxic positivity workplace environment that he's
Released last summer of her box office hit, It Ends With Us, Blake Lively has been dominating the gossip columns as a reported rift with her co-star Justin Baldoni became increasingly public. Rumors and allegations followed, from sexual harassment and smear campaigns to bullying and creative sabotage. But rival lawsuits filed by the pair in recent weeks have fanned the flames, shedding new light on the covert warfare of celebrity PR and the...
Before diving into the rumors, let's take a moment to spotlight our 2 central figures. Blake Lively, actress, fashion icon, and Hollywood's Golden Girl, is best known for her role in Gossip Girl and hit films like A Simple Favor. Beyond her talent and charm, she's built a reputation as a devoted wife to Ryan Reynolds. Their playful social media exchanges and seemingly perfect romance have made them one of Hollywood's most beloved couples. Then there's Justin Baldoni, widely recognized for his role as Raphael Solano in Jane the Virgin. More than just an actor, he's also a director, producer, and outspoken advocate for redefining masculinity. Married to Emily Baldoni, with whom he shares 2 children, Justin has often spoken about his deep commitment to his wife, his family, and the values they live by.
Baldoni says Lively went too far by exerting control over the production, threatening to withhold promotion unless her demands were met. He also argues that she falsely portrayed their professional relationship to the public, tarnishing his reputation. And while Lively is suing Baldoni for sexual harassment, retaliation, and false slight invasion of privacy, among other claims, Baldoni is countering with a defamation and civil extortion lawsuit, claiming that Lively not only made false allegations against him, but weaponized them to force him into compliance.
So how did 2 seemingly perfect celebrities end up caught in a web of rumors and scandal? This is where things start to get interesting.
So when all of this happened, and these publicist names were kind of being dragged through the mud in the New York Times article, it almost saddened me because it felt like my profession was getting a bad rap and kind of misunderstood within all of this. And it made me nervous because Justin Baldoni's publicist in particular, everything that they did is exactly what I would have done had it been my client. So, to see them being dragged through the mud.
Lawsuit had way more receipts, never before heard information, full text messages. Hers had way less. He came through, he came prepared, and his lawyer said recently that there's even more receipts that he had.
The rumor first surfaced on a podcast featuring an anonymous Hollywood insider, someone who claimed to have worked closely with both Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni on an upcoming project. According to this source, their on-set chemistry was impossible to ignore. What allegedly began as a strictly professional relationship slowly blurred into something far more personal. The insider described late-night rehearsals that stretched far beyond what the schedule required, constant private text exchanges, and business trips that appeared to have very little to do with business at all. As the story grew more dramatic, claims emerged that the 2 stars had gone to extreme lengths to keep the alleged affair hidden. Private jets instead of commercial flights, separate hotel bookings under different names, encrypted social media messages designed to leave no digital trail. Every move, according to the insider, was carefully calculated. Then came the most explosive part of the rumor, speculation that their respective spouses, Ryan Reynolds and Emily Baldoni, may have known more than they publicly let on. Were there quiet confrontations behind closed doors, subtle warning signs ignored for the sake of appearances? Or was this all a carefully constructed illusion built to protect powerful Hollywood images? With no names officially confirmed and no hard evidence presented, the Hollywood rumor mill went into full overdrive. Fans dissected interviews, analyzed body language, and revisited old clips with fresh suspicion. What once looked innocent now seemed loaded with hidden meaning. And just like that, a single anonymous podcast turned whispers into wildfire, leaving everyone asking the same question. Where does rumor end, and where does the truth really begin?
Talk about Ryan Reynolds' involvement on set and how he would kind of just sit around and watch from the screening room, which they call Video Village, which they said that a lot of crew members were weirded out by. Because, whose husband just comes to watch his wife in intimate scenes on camera? It's just weird. And when it comes to the affair rumors, they claim they didn't see anything and were shocked when the New York Times article drops because they don't ever remember a single instance where Justin Baldoni made someone feel uncomfortable. They claim that if anything, people would just walk all over Justin Baldoni because he was too nice, which makes sense when we have the text messages between Jamie Heath and the unnamed producer that claimed that he's giving Blake too much control and they didn't want to give her access to the dailies. So it kind of seems like this production was doomed.
With insider revelations now out in the open, Hollywood's rumor mill shifted into overdrive. Anonymous sources claiming to be close to the production alleged that the off-screen chemistry between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni was an open secret on set, noticed, whispered about, but never officially addressed. Crew members reportedly exchanged knowing glances, while subtle changes in behavior only added fuel to the speculation. According to these sources, their interactions went beyond scripted scenes. Lingering conversations after takes, shared laughter during breaks, and a level of comfort that seemed unusually intimate for co-stars were all quietly observed. Some insiders claimed that schedules were adjusted to keep them working closely together, while others suggested that last-minute changes were made to avoid raising suspicion. As the whispers grew louder, the narrative began to evolve. What was once dismissed as harmless chemistry was now being framed as something deeper. Hollywood blogs, gossip accounts, and fan forums picked up the story, dissecting every public appearance and resurfacing old interviews in search of hidden clues. Even the smallest gesture, a glance, a pause, a smile, was suddenly treated as evidence. Still, with no official statements and only anonymous accounts driving the conversation, the line between fact and fiction remained dangerously blurred. Yet in Hollywood, perception can be just as powerful as truth, and once the rumor machine is in motion, it rarely slows down, only growing louder with every retelling. A shocking claim soon followed. Allegations surfaced that Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni had spent an entire week together at a secluded Italian villa, supposedly under the pretense of private script discussions. A few photos of the luxurious retreat later appeared online. Sun-drenched terraces, sweeping countryside views, and discreet security, but no concrete evidence ever directly linked the two stars to the location. Without timestamps, clear faces, or official confirmations, the story remained frustratingly incomplete. Still, that didn't stop speculation from spiraling. Fans and gossip accounts connected dots that may or may not have existed, turning circumstantial details into supposed proof. Once again, the narrative hovered in that familiar gray area, where rumor feels convincing, evidence is thin, and suspicion fills in the gaps.
Has receipts. If that's the case, then why is the latest PR spin that actually the woman claiming Baldoni sexually harassed her is secretly in love with him? A textbook abuser's move. Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Friedman, was himself accused of sexual assault. While a student at UC Berkeley, Friedman and two of his frat brothers were escorting an intoxicated 17-year-old girl so she could join her boyfriend. She blacked out and never made it. She woke up at Friedman's frat house where Friedman and his two frat brothers took turns assaulting her. Friedman doesn't deny that the incident occurred, only that she had agreed, she had consented, and settled the lawsuit for $40,000 and no admission of.
Then came the cryptic Instagram activity, and that's when the internet truly lost its mind. Eagle-eyed fans noticed that Justin Baldoni had been liking and commenting on Blake Lively's older photos, interactions that many felt crossed the line from friendly to unusually affectionate. The timing alone raised eyebrows, but it was the tone of the comments that really set speculation ablaze. Around the same time, Blake allegedly posted and quickly deleted a quote about love appearing in unexpected places. Screenshots spread within minutes, turning a single fleeting post into supposed evidence. Whether coincidence or intention, the damage was already done. Social media erupted with hashtags like Blake and Justin affair and Hollywood scandal trending across platforms as fans, critics, and gossip accounts rushed to weigh in. But the frenzy didn't stop with fan speculation. Several prominent Hollywood figures appeared to subtly join the conversation, liking posts, sharing vague stories, or making carefully worded comments that seemed loaded with meaning. No one named names, yet the implications felt clear enough to keep the rumor alive. As the online noise grew louder, one question dominated the conversation. Was this just social media being overanalyzed, or were these digital breadcrumbs pointing toward a much bigger truth? In Hollywood, even a single like can start a wildfire, and this one was burning fast.